What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how you feeling? Staying balanced, staying poised in the moons in Libra, and I feel like we might need that as a great kicking point because we got a little bit of planetary action going on here too. Mercury doing their retrograde again, but we'll get into that in a moment. But if you're new to this channel, again, welcome. My name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. But also, this is a place if you happen to have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, maybe Venus, wherever. This one's for you. Or if you just want to keep with Cancer, we all got a Cancer placement in our chart. This is also for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off this lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going to avoid, of course, just all of them lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it, because yes, got a lot of shenanigans going on in the sky today. But before we get into that, depending on when you're watching this, happy Moon Day. Love a Moon Day. I was born on a Moon Day. The moon is associated with Mondays. And this is just a great time, I feel, to check in with how you're feeling, how the tide's been a-moving, where you've been initiating from. Hold on. Thank you, Spirit. And yeah, just to check in with the cycle of you and with those around you, how all of our cycles are working with each other. You know, that could be a real great thing because the moon is very intuitive, very sharp. So that could be just some ways to work with the moon. But I also like to think of these days to invite you to think about your moon placement, how you work with your moon, how's the moon aspected, you know, what's going on with that, what's your relationship with her, and how, if it's not strong, how we can strengthen that. So just some things to think about there. But also, too, like I was saying, depending on when you're watching this, Mercury is turning or stationing retrograde today. So you want to look to see, Mercury's going to be hanging out in Sag, so you want to see where you have Sagittarius in your chart. If you have like maybe Placidus and this is going between a couple houses, you want to see where that's happening for you. If this is a whole sign, then this is going to be just happening in that one house. Like my rising's in Leo, so this is going to be happening in my 5th house, which I am pumped. I am so pumped. And all my Leo risings get pumped. But I think that this can be where to not get caught up in like the typical sort of like Mercury retrograde, like, you know, Mercury, this is a great time for Mercury to be going retrograde because it's doing so in Jupiter's sign of Sagittarius, where Jupiter's retrograding in Mercury's sign of Gemini. So there's this mutual retrograde motion like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Did you come here often? And they don't. They happen to come here. And, you know, so the fact that things are lining up like that, I think that too just goes to show that this can be a very constructive retrograde. But check that out down in the description box. I talk all about that on my other video, Alchemist 8. But let's get into the lunar shenanigans because on the 25th of November, the moon is going to be entering into Libra. And this is going to be happening at 3:20 a.m. and that's Pacific time. And she's entering into that waning crescent phase. And, you know, I like this tail end of the lunar cycle is really and I think especially nostalgic going from Libra into Scorpio. I think that this waning crescent, it's a reflective time. It's a quiet kind of period. And in almost like but not in just like a sitting down and not just doing anything. It's more so like of a preparatory sort of phase too, because it's like, what's next? You know, like I've established this thing, I'm going to keep doing this thing, but yeah, now what? Do I build off of that? Can that go into something else, or am I working this with another thing? And that's where I find that astrology can become really nice, can be a great tool of working with. You know, and just to kind of see the patterns too. It's very interesting. You know, I when I do my lunar returns, I'll just like write a little reflection on them. I actually gotta do my one for the one that just passed, but I will write down just like, how did I handle that month? And in that lunar theme, how were my emotions? Did I show up a winner, or did I, you know, do we look in our wounds? And I think that this reflecting time can be like a, okay, where could I, like I said, who could I brought better, and then how can that new revised person show up in this theme of life? Because life is still moving, even when you happen to go within and do your meditation. The time is still fluctuating, and it's a moon day where we're waxing and waning, balancing with the moon in Libra. And so that's something I think too, thinking about with Libra. They're the cardinal air sign, their ruler is Venus. And so Venus wants that harmony, that creativity, that everything to be blessed and be just beautiful, and I think with Libra, this can this can really be a great reflection of, just where you've been initiating from, where have the thoughts been, and inviting, I like to see just some beautiful thoughts with Libra, and be initiating from a really lovely place. Surround yourself with loveliness so that you can feel this way. Go get yourself some flowers, or go buy yourself, take yourself out to dinner. Go for maybe go for a little boat ride, or go for rent a car and go for a drive, or just hop on, just somewhere to get into a. There's just something here about, like, I think just welcoming this retrograde with this moon in Libra in just a calm, balanced type of way. We don't want to be initiating with the scales. I just picture you're doing this, the scales are just all over the place, entangled. And this can be a time of, so if you're feeling like it's a Monday, it's a moon day, maybe take the day. Like, I'm not the one, put a sticker, Mercury's retrograde, not the one. But whatever you need to do, I think that this couple of time can be a really great setup for as we get ready to get into the new lunar cycle. I'm pumped for this new lunar cycle. So let's get pumped. Let's do that by switching over. And last couple things. Yeah, if you want to book a reading with me to either get to know your chart more intimately, or work with the transits, whether that be just what's going on currently, or with your solar or lunar return, big fan of that stuff. I got to get the link for the lunar return, but I have the other things down in the description box. I got some editing that's been on my list of things to do. Yep. So let's put an asterisk there, because let's bump up that urgency. And yeah, that's down there for you. And then last little bit here, these readings that I do, the non-gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And before we get into this thing, I'm going to ring this bell, bringing some good vibes, so adjust your volume if you need to, but let's do it. Extra beat for you. All right, let's get into this thing. Oh, look at this. Go wild. So you have so it's a card to go wild. This is the full moon in Leo here. Look at this. This card, did I get you pumped? Did I get you ready for the next? Look at this, we get a little closer. Because this to me, and I hope you're watching this. And if you're not watching what's happening, go back and watch this as the sun gets closer and closer to you, because that's you just radiating. That's you just going wild, going for and getting. Because what I like about Leo is, not that because I have a bunch of it, but Leo energy is cool in that you channel that solar energy and you just hold that, and you're holding that primal fire. There's something really cool in that. And we all have that in us. And not even in just like a Leo type of way, but in whatever your chart is expressing, that's what I feel like wanting to go wild here. This is, and it's maybe something that is not just going wild because not in like an untamed type of way. This is go wild with the dreams as far as like you want to do this thing, then let's start taking the actions towards that. Every fire starts with a little spark, and then you give it some air, and then it starts building and building, and then you build some stuff around it to kind of contain the heat. And then you're just a look at the sun. You're just a focused sun, a ball of energy shining just. I like these colors that are kind of radiating out here, but I think that it feels like the energies or maybe even kind of just floating around these darker rings here. But that's not that there's like the untapped, the unseen. And so it's like sending even just like a beacon to I got the word tickle that that energy, to get into that conversation with spirit. Because that's what that solar energy is. That moon is reflecting the light of the sun at her fullest here. When she's in that full moon phase, you would think that it's being in opposition, but there's something really cool with that go wild there. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. So with your past energy here, you got the Four of Swords. And I think that what I'm partway getting with this is maybe something has just been resting. Like I was saying with that kind of that darker area here. It's like something's been in just like the dream state is what I'm kind of getting. Or maybe there hasn't been possibly even enough rest or just enough focus to go wild in a sense. Maybe there's been things that have been pulling you kind of to and fro, and there's this need to, because that's the thing with cardinal signs. I think the cardinal energy they're great at initiating, but it's the fixed signs that have that stamina to hold things. And it's not to say that the cardinal signs can't hold things out, but there's a difference in how that works. I know someone who that's actually interesting when I think about it. They have a lot of cardinal versus fixity. I beat them in fixed, they beat me in cardinal. Great sprinter, but when it comes to long distance running, I could run forever. So that's another thing that I'm getting here. It seems that I'm even thinking too, with this go wild, that maybe this go wild has been like almost is translated in like a YOLO type of sense. Like you only live once type of energy. And yeah, it's just something that's needing to be a bit more tapered. Let me get a clarifier with the Four of Swords here and get some details. Oh, wow, cool. I'm with it. Thanks, Spirit. So, Four of Swords clarified by our card here, the Chariot. And, I'm getting a couple of things with that. Like, one, this energy here with the Four of Swords, it does feel stagnant. It feels maybe even just a little tired. But, like, it's... In a way, I think that there's an awaking from the dream here. It's like the chariot was sleeping in his little chariot. The charioteer was sleeping in there, and then someone pulled the blinds back, and now he's gone from seeing stars to seeing the golden sky around him, the promise of a new day here. I'm getting like a confusion energy here too, as far as maybe confusing the moonlight for the sunlight, and you thought that what you saw in the full moon was glorious, but it's like wait till you see it in the full sunlight of it even. But there is that. It's that wildness is needing a foundation and needs a container, needs you. to get, and maybe that could even help, because I'm even thinking with the Four of Swords, maybe there's been this restlessness that's going on, and maybe that can help. It just needs a direction even, and maybe that's what's been going on. This has been, I'm getting, maybe there's been this kind of like possibly impulsive energy that's just needing, it's not needed to be just like a bad thing, it's just needing to be like redirected in a sense. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the present. Thanks, Spirit. All right, so in the present energy, you got the Ten of Cups here. And to me, this is living the dream. This is starting to, in living the dream, it means to just start doing the things that, if you want to be, let's say, a race car driver, for example, what does your day-to-day look like? What do you need to incorporate in each day to make that happen, to make that feel more like a thing here? This is giving me like a play pretend energy, but you pretend enough, it becomes real. And I think that there is a lot of potent, like, potential with this go wild here when you focus. It doesn't have to just be the fantasy of it with the ten of cups here, because this is an interesting one. This is Mars and Pisces, so you're getting like the Tower energy and the Moon card. And when I think about those two together, is this maybe disillusionment that's happening, and this like this thing of just like something can't just stay a dream. Whatever this reality that you're wanting to see outside of yourself, that can be what can be getting in preparation for this next lunar cycle here as well. But let's get a clarifier for this Ten of Cups here. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. So the Ten of Cups is clarified by the Seven of Swords here. And while I was shuffling, before I get into that, I was thinking about the Chariot and the Suite of Cancer, the 2, 3, and 4 of Cups. And that progression from doing something, you just loving something and feeling something, to feeling in this abundance of energy, to then getting to this place of, well, how do I make that there's something here about, it's like being, again, too comfortable in that phase and not taking it a step further. Always like just taking what you need and leaving behind the work. It's just there's something here about just like you can take all of those swords with you in this card. And I like all this golden sky energy here. There's something unifying here that I mean, a lot of symbolism here, because even this Seven of Swords is the Moon in Aquarius, the opposite of Leo here. So there may even be something coming up, like, see where you have Aquarius in your chart? I'm even getting if there might be an intention that's wanting to be set around maybe Aquarius season. That might be something to think about. But yeah, the Seven of Swords is giving me this thing of hoping for something different. And it's like this person it's just interesting. It's like this person is waiting. It's like, I got all this stuff here that I'm already doing, And it's like someone waiting for someone to help pick up the slack, even. And so there could be something here where that's very interesting. This is more just kind of like an intuitive message, but more so like a just seeing who that's not a testing energy, but seeing where if someone said they're going to pull their weight, and it's like it maybe finding another way of doing something. That's all I got for that one. That's very interesting. Is there some sort of like intuitive something that you may be sensing here? There's hope, but it's just like it's gonna have to be done a little differently. Let's see what the future's looking like. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so we have the Nine of Pentacles here. And I like this. I like this in the future because this is really kind of meditating on your abundance. And I think that especially with this yellow backgrounds with the sky here, there's something here about, I'm getting also to just with that Seven of Swords, something here about, just something about like, do you have someone to help you do the things that you can't do or that you don't know or that can make up for the shortcomings, whether this be, it's something here about like a teamwork thing that maybe is needed, but there is this need to, there's a certain amount of weight that you're needing to pull. So, and like there's a balance thing, of course, with this moon in Libra, but that's just something else that's coming through. Let me get a clarifier with this Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. So you got the Eight of Swords here. And so I think that this in this future is not getting in your own way. It's not getting in letting just thinking, I just got this message of just like you may have to make 2 trips for something where it's like where you're used to having someone help you bring up the groceries. Now you may just have to do it in 2 trips as opposed to, and that's just like an example of what's coming through. But it's looking for, I think it's looking at distractions too. Like I was saying, to see what may be interfering with you being able to kind of cut loose on your dreams, to get some things in motion and to keep it consistent. Is it like if it's, I'm just got like a message of like not having enough time in the day, for example, then it's like, where is your time going? If we just took a moment and just kind of analyze, you can find some time. One thing that I remember noticing very, very starkly when I had quit smoking cigarettes was just like, oh, this would be like a smoke break time. Like, what do I do now? Like, what's the next call to action here? And that was interesting. But it like opened up a lot of time, and that was really kind of a fascinating thing to observe when I even kind of think about that. And where you can, oh, you know what, I noticed that the time really goes here. Let me try to bring some of that back here and make it flow this way so you're not feeling so caught up or just kind of bound down by these things, a part of a set here in a sense, And just thinking how this person is looking back to the Eight of Swords, it's like there's something here about this future It's giving me something here about maybe trying to do everything at once with the Seven of Swords, but then you had the five and you just had to go back to get the other two, but then somehow you went back. It's like taking two steps towards and one step back, and then you gain an extra sword on top of that. So I think there's something here about being constructive with just your energy, your time, the people you spend out with, and even the alone time that you spend with yourself. That might be something too if you've been feeling a little constrained, a little confined, getting out and socializing some. Finding a different way to help get the chariot moving, because maybe things were moving along here, we took a break, and then now it's like, oh no, the inspiration's gone. But let's get a clarifier from Venus. Thank you, Spirit. And look at that. Got Sag here, and you got the Temperance card. And, with the Temperance card, there is this energy of the work. There's always going to be something. You're going to want to be, you have this perfect 10 of cups thing that you're visualizing, and it's like you're almost there, but then there's something else. I think with the Seven of Swords comes up, but then it's like something else, and then something else, and I think that there's just always going to be something else. It's just like with the Chariot, you're going to have to it requires maintenance. It's just like with the body, it requires constant maintenance all the time. The body, do this for me, feed me, water me, bathe me. It's so demanding. But it's in order to keep things functioning. I'm kidding, buddy, I love you. And it helps. There's something here. It's like you can go wild, and the fire it's not just doing just mundane things. You know what I mean? This Temperance card is giving me this advice from Venus. Let me get a clarifier with the Temperance card. Oh, look at that. They're opposite sign. A lot of opposites here. Thanks, Spirit. So you got the Lovers card up, right? And this Lovers really, I think, is the choice as far as that balance in life, and what does go wild mean for you, how to go wild, how to keep the journey exciting. Even because look at that, some advice. With your advice, keep the sky golden. The sky's still golden, even though the future may feel like it's light gray. It's just like a cloud just happened to pass over, and you know what that cloud was? Spirit. Look at Spirit coming on this I love this story. But I think that it's embodying this woman who's looking to Spirit, whereas the man's looking at the woman. I think there's a choice here, and it's not meant to be like a judgmental sort of thing, but life is gonna have these things where you're just kind of weighing a lot, and even with the juxtaposition of I feel like that kind of like the opposites with the sphinxes here. It's kind of like the riddles of life, but it's not meant to be like a discouraging sort of like, oh, then let's go ahead and switch back over, but it's meant to be more of like, look at all the choices you do have, like you don't have to do any of these things, or you can do all of the things, but and not to let it just like, and then finding that sweet spot, I'm looking at my hourglass, that spot right in between where things are full and we're just like, it's just flow. It's just flow. We're not thinking about anything. It's just flow. And but yeah, that's what I got for you there. Something to think about. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know someone who could get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe to your Chariot. Hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each day. And then down in the description box below, I'm going to get your surprise cards here. But down in the description box below, there is like I said, a link from my other channel where I do the Celestial News Weekly. And yeah, look for lists for all of my services and some like sources that I like to look into, like where it's what I like to read, what I've learned from, and who I've learned from, and all those things. I think that information is valuable. I'll bring you a little bit more. Okay. Got 3 cards today. Thanks, Spirit. See what's going on here. I should have said something about the Strength card. I mean, that's basically the Strength card there. But you got Strength card here, which is the Ancient Oak Spirit. You have the Starry Night card, Aquarius energy, which is the card of acceptance. And then you have the Spirit Guardian of the Spring, which is Aries, basically. But this is a card of activation. And so what I get with these surprise cards, with this Go Wild, is that you have this inspiration. You've gone forward with your Chariot. Maybe I'll start doing a surprise card for each pull in the past. That's interesting. Okay, I kind of like that. Hang with me there. A little intuitive nudge there. But you had this momentum. You had the strength to do these things. And now, with that acceptance, there's something here as far as a situation has gone the way that is going to, and it's not giving up, but it's like accepting that, okay, this is a situation that I'm in right now, and then future, how are you going to activate? What are you going to activate in order to keep in that temperance, keep in that balanced place when you feel kind of stuck in your head and the skies are feeling a little gray and you're having trouble seeing the golden sky, Let me get a surprise card for the advice there too. Why not? So we got the Frog Spirit here, which is card of renewal for your advice from Venus. And that's the 20th card, which is the Judgment card. And I think that there is this renewal. I mean, this she's about to turn this frog into a prince. Or maybe this frog's already a prince. Maybe she's already figuring out. It might even just be, it's just a matter of perspective. That was brilliant. Thanks, Frog Spirit. But, yeah, that's interesting. I love that. That's what I got for you there. So keep raising that consciousness out there and raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you. It's very interesting. On the next one, Mercury Day. Oh.